Hello and welcome to the Cubs July 6th overview. The Cubs are playing very, very well right now, have a commanding lead in the NL Central, 13 games above the Pirates. The Pirates look to have shifted to sell mode in recent days. Still not like Skeens or Jared Jones, but Keller's hit the block. A few of their position players. Their closer right now is Holderman. He's on the block. So it seems like they've kind of given up. They're quite a ways back in the wild card. So the Cubs are kind of coasting to the playoffs at this point. The biggest question right now is probably going to be seeding. They're tied for the first seed in the National League with the Mets. The Dodgers are hanging right there, and the Braves are right there as well behind the Mets. So got to finish in the top two in order to get a bye for that first round. In good position now, but have to keep playing strong baseball. Let's take a look at the Cubs pitching staff. Shota's pitching really well at the top of the rotation. Justin Steele's been great. Jameson Taillon has fallen off a little bit. That's still pretty strong for Taillon. 4.25 ERA, 119 WHIP. I think you take that. Matthew Boyd has been really good. 11-2 with an ERA just above 3. The WHIP is a little bit elevated, but I think you still very much take that out of Matthew Boyd. Cade Horton is settling into the 5th spot. He's pitched really well in limited innings so far. Jordan Wicks has been good in long relief. Your rotation's been so good, you haven't really needed a whole lot of long relief, but when Wicks is called upon, he's been very good. Ben Brown started in the rotation and really struggled. Since moving to the bullpen, he's been lights out. Nate Pearson has been really, really good. Daniel Palencia just came up. He's pitched pretty well in just a few innings. Porter Hodge has an elevated ERA, but the WHIP is really good. I think he's been a little bit unlucky. Halfway decent in the setup role. Luke Little is kind of all over the place. You never know what you're going to get with Luke Little. He's got incredible stuff, but he struggles with control. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's walking everybody and running that WHIP up to 145. A mix of good and bad with Luke Little. If there's anything here that I would look at, it's maybe trying to add a high-end bullpen piece or maybe two. I don't think it's an absolute must, especially since you're getting really good performance out of Nate Pearson and Ben Brown right now. But if there's anywhere to upgrade, it's maybe adding a bullpen piece and getting to move either Hodge or Little into more of like a middle relief role and getting somebody who can step into setup. Ryan Presley's been fantastic as a closer. I don't see any reason to take him out of that role. We look at the lineup. Ian Happ has been hitting leadoff. He's hitting pretty well. 344 on base percentage. A little bit of power. I mean, it's just a standard Ian Happ season. Playing really good defense in left field. Michael Busch has been a bit of a mixed bag. 322 on base percentage, 441 slugging. It hasn't been on par with his real life season so far this year. But 763 OPS out of Michael Busch is not too bad. Nolan Arenado is still struggling. He is hitting better than he was when he first came over from the Cardinals, but it's still not the Nolan Arenado of old. Very low batting average, low OBP. He's never been a guy who takes a ton of walks. The slugging has dipped under 400. I mean, he's really got to get going. Kyle Tucker's been pretty strong, hitting cleanup. 332 on base percentage, 503 slugging percentage. He smacked 19 homers. I think you're pretty much getting what you expect out of Kyle Tucker. Dansby Swanson's been really good. I think we started him maybe in like the 6th or 7th spot. He's climbed all the way up to the 5th spot in the lineup. Hitting 281, 347, 526 slugging. I think he's been far and away your best player so far. Between being maybe the best defensive shortstop in the National League and also having this offensive output. He's been really good. O'Neal Cruz came over from Pittsburgh in a trade earlier in the year after Pete Crow Armstrong went down for the year with an Achilles injury. He's been pretty good since coming over. 231 average. He's always going to strike out a lot, so I don't think you're going to get much higher of an average than that. I think that's about where he's going to settle in. Probably like to see the slugging come up a little bit. Hopefully he starts to hit with a little bit more power. He's stealing a ton of bases, playing halfway decent defense out in center field right now. He can also play right field. Catcher, Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly are pretty much splitting that role. Amaya is getting a little bit more playing time than Kelly right now. And it's been pretty decent output. If you combine the two, I mean, you're looking at basically a mid-260s hitter with 10 home runs out of the catcher spot. I mean, that's about all you can ask. They play about a little bit above average defense between the two of them. Seiya Suzuki is on the DL right now. Let me check his status real quick. He's out 1 to 2 months with a broken arm, so he will be back probably sometime in August, maybe mid-August. For the time being, I know I checked with Mark, and you elected to bring up Moises Ballesteros to kind of take over that DH role. He struggled a little bit since coming up. I've started to use Matt Shaw and James Triantos a little bit more and kind of phased Ballesteros out. He's been a little bit of a bench bat lately. It's allowed me to kind of give some days off for some of the regulars like Happ and Tucker, even Swanson and Bush, guys that you want to keep in the lineup and have to give a rest. I've kind of been using that DH spot to give them a rest and get Triantos and Shaw into the lineup. Nico Horner's been really good at second base, hitting 292, 362 on base percentage, 406 slugging, stole 19 bases, playing really good defense up the middle. That's about as good of a 9-hitter as you could possibly ask for. So the lineup's looking really good. I don't think you have to do anything with this lineup. You're getting Seiya Suzuki back in August. He will probably slot back into that 3-hole, and Arenado will drop down probably to 7th. Amaya would drop to 8th. So lineup is really good, really good. A lot of bench depth. The last thing we're going to look at is check on All-Stars. I know you have Matthew Boyd kind of in the picture in starting pitchers. He's a little bit on the outside right now. I think it's possible he catches Kershaw. We're not going to have to worry about Yamamoto. He's out. So another strong start for Boyd before the All-Star break, and he could potentially catch Clayton Kershaw and make the All-Star team. Relief pitchers, you have Nate Pearson down here, again, having a really strong season. I don't think he's going to make it. It's probably only going to be one relief pitcher, maybe 2 that makes it, and he's a little bit off the pace. I don't think he's going to be able to make up that much ground. Ryan Presley is basically a lock at this point. Unless he absolutely melts down over the next week or so, he's going to be a lock for the All-Star game. There's nothing at catcher, nothing at first base. Second base, you've got Nico Horner down here a bit. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Bryce Terang, but he is having a strong season, worth a mention. Nothing at third base. Shortstop, I think Dansby Swanson is going to make the team. It's kind of going to be a close race here with Xavier Edwards. For the Marlins, I think the real threat that Swanson is facing in not making the team is that Edwards is likely going to be the default representative for Miami. And if we only carry 2 shortstops on the All-Star team, Swanson could be on the outside looking in if Edwards is the one player Miami gets. But Swanson, I think, deserves to be on this team. Hopefully he makes it. I know there's some rating boosts for next year that you get for having players on the All-Star team, so let's hope he makes it. Nothing in left. Hap is a little bit down the list. Having a pretty good season, but I don't think he's going to make up the ground to make this All-Star team. It's possible Ozuna is going to be looked at as a DH, in which case Hap is not too far off from Profar and Yelich. It's possible if he goes on a heater in this next week, he can maybe make up that ground and push for a spot, but I don't think he's going to get there. There's nothing in center right now. Kyle Tucker is really pushing for an all-star spot. It's a loaded right field in the National League. Acuna is absolutely going to make it. Soto's going to make it. He could be viewed as a DH. Let's see. I don't see him listed as DH. Ozuna definitely is. So Soto's probably going to lock down that number 2 spot. If a third right fielder gets onto the team, it's between Tucker and Carroll. Carroll's definitely the favorite at this point. In terms of making the home run derby, I think Tucker is really your only shot. If he hits maybe 3 homers in this next week and pushes and makes the All-Star team, I think there's a chance he sneaks into the home run derby. But that's really it. Cubs are looking strong right now. Trying to finish strong before the All-Star break. Got another game against St. Louis. Got a couple series on the road against Minnesota and the Yankees. And then we're into the All-Star break. But everything's looking good for the Cubs. I think Mark's doing a fantastic job. Not a whole lot to be done with this team right now. I think we're in good shape. And that's the Cubs July 6th overview. Thanks for watching.